Israel and Hamas, meanwhile, featured prominently in the first debate for the New York mayoral race between Democrat socialist Zoran Mamdani, former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, and Republican and Guardian Angels founder Curtis Sliwa.
A lot of fireworks.
So for the voters tuning in tonight, Mr. Mamdani, what do you believe about Hamas and how lasting peace will be achieved?
Of course, I believe that they should lay down their arms. I, like many New Yorkers, am hopeful that this ceasefire will hold. I'm hopeful that it is durable. I'm hopeful that it is just. And for it to be just, we also have to ensure that it addresses the conditions that preceded this. Conditions like occupation, like the siege, and apartheid.
The assemblyman will not denounce Hamas. The assemblyman just said in his response, well, it depends on occupation. That is code, meaning that Israel does not have a right to exist as a Jewish state.
I want to be very clear. The occupation is a reference to international law and the violation of it, which Mr. Cuomo has no regard for since he signed up to be Benjamin Netanyahu's legal defense team during the course of this genocide. And I find the comments that Hassan made on 9/11.
So using that word genocide there again.
Yeah. You didn't see poor Curtis Sliwa at all in that.
We'll get to that. But first, we're joined by political strategist Jenette Hoffman to talk about this night. Jenette, good to see you. Thanks for being here bright and early.
Great to be here, guys.
If someone were to ask you, what was the theme of the night? Who felt like won this debate? What would you tell them?
Well, listen, it was an interesting night. And always multi-candidate debates feel a little awkward when it's not one-on-one. Two's company, three is a crowd, right? And I feel like there were Curtis Sliwa, Andrew Cuomo, they're both trying to knock down Mamdani because he is the front runner, right? So they're trying to knock him down, score that knockout punch against him. I don't really think they did it. Mamdani's said some really controversial things in the past, whether it's defunding the police, which he said time and time again, and his controversial statements against Israel, arresting Prime Minister Netanyahu, a lot of things against Israel, not calling for Hamas to be disarmed, but Mamdani is really a smooth operator, right? Every question you notice, he comes back to, what is it?
Affordability.
Exactly.
The guy is skilled. You got to give it to him. You're right.
I think one of the punches that got landed that, people were talking about this morning in, social media circles was the back and forth between Cuomo and Mamdani when he said, you've literally not done anything.
Yeah, the
your
inexperience issue.
You're completely inexperienced. The only thing on your resume is that you worked for your mom.
You worked for your mom. You've never had a job. And this is not, Mayor, the largest city in the world, is not a place for on-the-job training. Right. And I also thought Curtis Sliwa landed a pretty good punch on Andrew Cuomo when he said, I knew Mario Cuomo. You, Andrew Cuomo, are no Mario Cuomo. You let 48 cop killers out of prison. I mean, that was harsh.
Cuomo obviously, though, needed to break through last night. He needed to attract some new voters into his camp. A lot was made of his resignation as governor.
Yeah.
Did he accomplish that? Did he break any new ground? Did he energize anybody to say, hey, I'm your guy?
I'm not sure he did that. And frankly, when I watched it, I was kind of reminded of the past and why he resigned, right? Like all the sexual harassment lawsuits. I think I was reminded, oh, wow, there were 13 lawsuits against him. Right. And, oh, wow, a lot of people did die during COVID because of the nursing home issue. So, I'm not sure he attracted any new voters. Mm-hmm. In fact, I think it may have reminded a lot of people of the reason that he resigned in office.
It's just a stunning dynamic. I mean, you've got a guy in Mamdani, take the socialism off the table.
Yeah.
He repeatedly refused on a Fox News interview to condemn Hamas. There are 2 million Jews in New York City. And if you look at the Fox News poll, Sliwa could get out of this race. All of his support could go to Cuomo, and Mamdani would still lead by 10. This is not a race. It is not even close to a race.
Yeah, and I mean, first of all, for me, I mean, those comments would be disqualifying, right? I mean, it's stunning.
It's really
and
stunning.
So I mean, take that out of the equation. He also said he's going to raise taxes. Admittedly, he's going to raise taxes by $9 billion to pay for things like free buses and
universal
health care,
childcare,
and taking over grocery stores in Manhattan, which would drive a lot of private investment out of the city. So, I think these policies are very outside of the mainstream. They're very socialist, but yet he still continues to surge in the polls.
He also tried to do some damage control about Hamas laying down its arms. He finally said last night, of course, they should, something he wouldn't say in his Fox interview the days prior.
Just the day before.
Yeah. One thing they all did agree on, it seems, the issue of bringing the National Guard, the potential of bringing the National Guard by President Trump into the city of New York. Let's take a listen to that.
I would tell the President of the United States, since I'm familiar with cities all across America having guardian angels there, if you were going to send the National Guard, you don't need to send them to New York City. There are other cities that could desperately use their help in dealing with their crime crisis.
Thank you. We do not need the National Guard here in New York City. We do not need them for the purpose of safety, because if it was safety that President Trump was so concerned about, he would send them to the 8 out of 10 states that have the highest levels of crime in this country, but he won't, because they're all run by Republicans.
He's not sending in the National Guard to do any real function. It's control, it's power. He's trying to say these Democrats don't know how to run these cities, and it's a political gesture by sending in the National Guard. I went through this with him. He sent the National Guard to 20 cities when I was governor. You know what city he didn't send them to? New York. Why? Because I said to him, don't you dare, we don't need it, and he backed down, and he will again.
So that proves a good relationship.
So they were all sort of flexing their muscles of, we will fight back against the administration when we don't agree. All three of them did that. If Sliwa dropped out and joined forces with Cuomo, would that help? Or, as Dave was saying, is this over?
I think, listen, there's only a couple weeks to go. I'm not sure if Sliwa dropped out maybe a month ago and it was a one-on-one race, maybe it would have made a difference. I'm not so sure with only, early voting starts in a couple days, or I think it's October 25th. I'm not sure that there's enough time for a one-on-one race to make a difference. I think Mamdani is very comfortable right now in the polls ahead. And listen, in a debate like this, you're looking for that knockout moment, because a lot of people aren't tuning in live. So you want a viral moment that you can make a television ad or a commercial out of. And I don't really think that either Sliwa or Cuomo scored that against Mamdani.
But Sliwa is making no noise about dropping out. I mean, he seems to be very.
He actually tweeted last night that he won the debate, and that Cuomo should get out.
Yeah.
So, I'm not joking. This is actually a tweet.
He's digging in. I don't think he's going anywhere.
I'm curious your thoughts on the national storyline here. There's been a lot of reporting that Trump wants Sliwa out of the race because he doesn't want Mamdani to win. Would this be good for the Republican Party as a whole if Mamdani wins this race and governs
in certain ways? Yes, because they would have that foil. Like, look, I'm a Republican, and
that's why I ask.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I would like to see it. Like, look, guys, this is the face of the Democratic Party. This is what you want. Higher crime, terrible taxes, socialist policies. But, listen, I understand where President Trump, he has a lot of investment in New York City. It's the best, biggest city in the world. Trump Tower is there. He doesn't want to see the city go down a bad path like that. So I think as a patriot, as someone who cares deeply about New York City, I think that's why he doesn't want to see it go into Mamdani's hands.
For his own pocket as well. I think what you were hinting at. I mean, he said a lot of investment.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I mean,
billions of dollars.
Billions of dollars. But also, look, it's the biggest city in America, right? So why would he want to see that happen to our country?
I think they have one more face-off coming up the 22nd.
22nd,
before the early voting starts. Jenette Hoffman, thanks for being here at the table.
It's always great to be with you guys.
Yeah.